We took an opportunity to leave the kids with Grandma and hit the road. So Barb and I are at Franklin D. Roosevelt State Park in Georgia. Check it out. Hey guys, I'm Kevin with Kemp Outside, your inside source for all things outside. We're at Franklin D. Roosevelt State Park in Georgia in Pine Mountain. We just rolled in. It's time to get set up. We'll see you in a minute. Well guys, we got all set up last night, but it got a little too dark to shoot anything, so we got up this morning, ate a little bit of breakfast, and now I'm going to give you a little tour of our campsite. We're at campsite 306 at Franklin D. Roosevelt State Park in Pine Mountain, Georgia. So let me grab the camera here. So we got the Kemp bus there, and then here's something that's kind of weird. We've got this little parking area right here. I don't know what this is for. I guess maybe to put like a little car in there, or if you were motorcycle camping, you could put a motorcycle in there, or you could pitch a small tent in there if you needed to. Let's head back into the site. So we'll make our way in down the path here. You've got the parking area, so there's the cargo camper, and then down a little hill is a tent pad, so we've got our Kodiak canvas set up down there, and then the path kind of winds over to a fire pit and a stone picnic table. So it's also got a hook to hang a lantern. Really nice site. Here, let's walk in a little bit more. As we're making our way in, fall is hitting western Georgia, so that's pretty cool. We don't have too much leaf change yet, but just a little bit, and of course the leaves are falling, so that makes it really nice. We wanted to kind of get up and see a little bit of a leaf change because we get absolutely zero leaf change in Tampa. So it's nice. We were hoping for a little bit more, but I guess we're a little bit early. So that's all right. The weather's really nice. It's going to be maybe 80 degrees today at its peak. So I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, just loving the weather. It's nice and cool this morning. It's going to get a little bit colder tomorrow, but hey, we're ready for that as well. So as I move the camera a little bit more, so you can see there's the fire pit, and then as I come down here, you can see the tent pad. So the tent pad behind the parking area doesn't give us a whole lot of room there. Our Kodiak canvas is 10 by 14, so it takes up pretty much all of that tent pad, but we do have enough space to get in there and get in the tent, so worked out really well. And then here's the view out of the back of our campsite. So just a beautiful view. There's a little creek that runs down there, and there's a little trail right out the back of our campsite where we can get down to the creek, and that creek has a trail that runs along it, so we're able to run along the creek there and check stuff out. We did a little bit of a walk yesterday, but not a whole lot. I'm setting my tripod down on uneven ground, so we'll see how that goes. But we had a great time, and we're gonna go check out the park this morning, see what we can see, maybe do a little bit of reconnaissance. And then this afternoon, both Barb and I have to work. We do have full-time jobs besides YouTube. This is a little bit of a work vacation for us. As I mentioned in my video intro, we left the kids with Grandma. So it's just Barb and I camping for 5 days. We're here from Monday to Friday. And then we've got to go back and I guess relieve Grandma and see if the kids burn down the house and all of that stuff. But we're going to have a great time, even though we do have to work a little bit. That's okay. We love working at the campsite. We just set our laptops on the picnic table and enjoy the weather, or hang out in the tent and just enjoy getting out and breathing some fresh air while we work. So let's go see what we can find in the park. This park has some amazing overlooks. This first one we've stopped at is called the Valley Overlook. Guys, check this out. An even better overlook is this overlook of Lake Franklin. Man, we're gonna go check this out. This thing is awesome. You don't really think about mountains in western Georgia. When you think about Georgia mountains, you think about the North Georgia mountains, the mountains north of Atlanta, the foothills of the Appalachians. But here in western Georgia, where you're west of Macon, you've got some pretty big mountains. Not Colorado Rockies big, but hey, definitely some cool mountains. Let's go check this out. This overlook is incredible. And according to the map, there's some group camps down by Lake Franklin as well as some horse stables. So if you're into equestrian, you're definitely going to want to check that out. Hang out around Lake Franklin. But what a beautiful view. If you had just dropped me out of a helicopter with no map, I would have sworn we were in the North Georgia mountains somewhere. Definitely not west of Macon. Not too far from the Lake Franklin overlook is Dowdell's Knob. Now, Dowdell's Knob is this amazing overlook here at F.D. Roosevelt State Park here in Georgia. And I'm going to show you the overlook in a minute, but it was rumored to be Franklin Delano Roosevelt's favorite picnic spot when he would come. So he used to come to Warm Springs, Georgia, which is a town just east of the park. He would come there to seek treatment for his polio back in the day. He built a little house they called the Little White House, and he lived there when he was getting his polio treatments and that kind of thing. But anyway, F.D. Roosevelt State Park is named after him because he loved this part of Georgia, and it's rumored that Dowdell's Knob was his favorite picnic spot. So they have created a statue of Franklin Delano here, which is a life-size statue of him overlooking Dowdell's Knob. And there's also a flagpole right up here. The wind's not really blowing today, but there's an American flag up there, and what's unique about that American flag is it only has 48 stars, which was the number of states we had when he was president. This is an amazing view. I'm going to turn the camera around to show you what my buddy FDR's view is like, and then we're going to walk down there and take a look. So here's the view from the statue. As you can tell, it is an amazing, amazing place. There's some folks down there taking photos and talking and hanging out. Once those guys clear out, we'll go show you Franklin Delano Roosevelt's grill that he had built right down there past my van, where he would cook out and enjoy the scenery. And there's the flag. And here's the view from the knob. (1,395 feet above sea level). And here's a look at the grill that FDR had built at Dowdell's Knob. They've concreted over the grill itself to preserve it, but here is the remnant. So as you can see, you can grill with a view if you've got the swagger of FDR. And of course, one of the coolest overlooks is the overlook behind the visitor center here at FDR State Park. Definitely check out the visitor center and check out the overlook. So we've had a great time exploring this park, and we're in our final full day, but truthfully, this has kind of been a work vacation for us. My mom took the kids, and Barb and I were able to get away, but she's in a tent right now working on a website that's down for one of our clients, and I've just been hanging out, enjoying the fall colors and the cool air and stuff like that. But sometimes it's good just to get away, so this video is probably going to be pretty short, but there's one thing I wanted to talk about that I just did recently that has changed some of my issues with my Coleman camp stove. So I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you something that you need to consider if your Coleman camp stove isn't working very well. So check this out. So I've had this Coleman camp stove for a long time. It's probably at least 15 years old. I'm not even sure how long I've had it, but it has gone on many, many camping trips. And on trips like this, where it's just Barb and I, we don't need to take the big camp kitchen. And so we've done all of our meals on this little Coleman camp stove. But one of the things that I've noticed lately is that it hasn't wanted to work properly some of the time. Sometimes it'll work just fine. Other times it won't want to flow gas. And that's why I replaced the regulator. So the regulator is that part right there. And you can buy a new regulator so that if your Coleman camp stove isn't working the way it should, those regulators tend to go bad and it's time to replace them. So it's always much better to replace the regulator than to go buy a whole brand new camp stove. And so this is a genuine Coleman part, but they do have other regulators that you can get. I found them on Amazon. And then right there, you'll see that it has a part number. So for this one, it was a 5430 regulator. And so if you just type in the number on your regulator, you'll be able to find one either on Amazon or elsewhere. I'll put a link to this one on Amazon down in the description below, so that in case you have this particular camp stove, you can get a new regulator for it. But again, guys, just because it's not working doesn't mean it's time to replace it. Oftentimes these regulators fail after a certain amount of time. It's just easy to replace it. I think this one cost me 20 bucks. We finished our work for the day, so we thought we'd check out Carl's Cove and do a little bit of hiking. Tiller's excited for the hiking. Hiking with dogs who've been cooped up at the campsite all day because mom and dad had to work is no fun. At least for the first mile. You gotta wear these guys out or they'll wear you out. So one of the things I absolutely miss about living in Florida is having fall colors. We don't get a lot of it in Florida, and while we didn't hit the peak of it in Pine Mountain, we are definitely able to see some reds and some yellows, and I'm absolutely loving it. So check it out on this hike. All right, so we're finishing up the trail. It was a really nice little under 1 mile lollipop trail. Great for kids, great for dogs, great for when you're camping not too far away from the campground. We're heading back now. We ended our final night with a nice campfire. Well, guys, we're all packed up and ready to say goodbye to FDR State Park here in Pine Mountain, Georgia. We had a great time. We learned a few things. Number one, we forgot what it was like to camp without kids. We brought way too much food. So we're going home with a ton of groceries because Barb and I just don't eat as much as an 18-year-old and a 14-year-old boy. So we're going to go home with some groceries, so they're going to like that. And we got a lot of work done for our business, which was awesome. We were able to just enjoy the nice fall weather and get some work done. So this was a really, really great trip, even though it was pretty laid back. Guys, I definitely recommend FDR State Park, especially if you're a hiker. The Pine Mountain Trail, all 23 miles of it, look awesome. And I definitely would recommend it if you're a hiker. If you're not a hiker, there's a little less than 1 mile loop we did earlier in the video you saw So it's a great way to just get out in the woods with the dogs or the kids, but without having to really, hit a difficult trail. So we really enjoyed our time here. Be on the lookout for a campground review video because I'm going to do one for this park. And thanks for watching. Camp Outside exists to help moms and dads take their kids camping, hiking, fishing, learn about nature, and develop a conservation ethic. We want to help you get you and your kids outside. So if you have any questions about camping here or anything at all, just drop something in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. You can connect with us on our other social media at Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter, or you can connect with us on our website. Guys, we got a whole lot more content coming out here at Camp Outside. So hit that subscribe button, that little bell icon that notifies you when we release new videos, and hit that thumbs up button if you like this video. We will see you next time.